AskReddit. NSFW, what would you change about your first time having sex? IQ $electric fence. Don't ask. But I have so many questions. I was 16 years old and I ducked my girl at a summer camp and I missed a facial and then my orgasm got ruined and burned. Luckily the voltage was low so I healed, but I pissed red pee-pee that night. I would have stayed away from a double meat and bean chipotle burrito an hour beforehand. But was the burrito good though? Her braces sliced my dang open. Same. Thought I had some weird STD because I didn't even notice the cut until the next day. I would find a way to not have a seizure immediately afterward and avoid being scared of sex for the next 10 years. Not full on sex, but the first time I got a hand job she made me wear a condom. It made sense the way she explained it to me, because then cum wouldn't go flying everywhere, but it made things kinda awkward with the next girl I was messing around with. I just assumed that's what people did with hand jobs, so I pulled out a condom when she was playing with me. She backed off and was like, "Whoa, I'm not ready to have sex with you yet." I awkwardly explained that I wasn't trying to suggest that, it's just how I thought hand jobs went. She told me it was pretty weird and the whole thing just killed the mood, so I wish the other girl hadn't put that thought in my head. He and I were both 15, and he had internet that his parents didn't monitor. So after we have pretty awkward sex, he gets out of me, rips off the condom, and jizzes on my face. It seemed like one swift move, maybe 2 seconds, then boom, goo on my face. I sat there flabbergasted only for a moment before I wiped it off and rubbed that hand down his face. We were both left stunned staring at each other like, what the fuck did you just do? Then we went and washed our faces unromantically. I would have changed the whole face jizz thing then, but looking back, it's pretty funny to me now. Different place or different time. Either way I could have avoided having some poor mom walking in and finding me balls deep in her daughter. I was quite nervous and said, "You can give me a blowjob," meaning the other way around, and he said it's called cunnilingus. I was so embarrassed that decided not to explain and didn't stop him. I cringed in enormous amounts for long months remembering that moment. Pulled out because we were young and I got it all over her face. BC she turned around too fast and I got it in her eye. Subsequently I had to take her to the eye doctor and it was very embarrassing for her and it was a lot. I had this happen to my eye. I literally couldn't see out of it for hours. Burned so bad 10/10ths would not do again. I'd say getting past 10 seconds would have been pretty cool. Careful. He's a legend. IKR. What a show off. Mr. Double Digits over here. The location. Cole's dressing room is not an acceptable place to have sex. 16-year-old me. Probably the most exciting thing to happen in Cole's ever. Let the guy use warming lube. Felt like a volcano erupted in my anus. We took a shower and used cooling lube after all. Everyone jokes about 2 pump chumps. I was quite literally a 1 pump chump. I know a guy who lost his virginity in 1 pump. They were both amateurs and spent too long on foreplay and hand stuff that when he stuck it in, he lost it all. Nothing. It was weird and awkward and quick. With a nice girl I don't know anymore. Just as it should be. It probably would have been better if it weren't in a room full of sleeping people who had passed out after sophomore semi-formal. And, you know, on a bed where we could have had a better idea on how to properly angle ourselves. Not ducked 5 weeks after breaking my femur. I had just started walking and assisted again, and after that I couldn't walk for days. Oh man, like everything. Who it was with, when, where, duration, amount of hair, the part when I slid out and just finished between her butt and the bed, getting caught by my mom, just everything. Amount of hair, whose, sounds intriguing. The bat cave was hidden by shrubbery. Even with detailed instructions, we still lost a member of the exploration party. Nothing. Had a great time in that minivan. I probably wouldn't have tried to hold a conversation the entire time. Mayo. How was your day? Your bed is comfortable? What do you want to do after this? I like the way you decorated your room. Yay. I really didn't know what I was doing and it clearly didn't feel good. Everything almost 20 years ago. I drove across 2 states to sleep with someone. Someone who in hindsight was definitely taking advantage of me. I was 17. She was 48, horny/lonely. Confused me with stupid. This'll probably get buried, but let's just say it involved 4 other guys, and I'm fairly certain was illegal. I regret it to this day. Absolutely the person, the location, everything. It was my friend's ex-boyfriend's best friend. We were kind of set up but then parted ways when my friend and her boyfriend broke up. Then I started chatting with him on Yahoo Messenger. We dated a little and then had sex on my parents' couch when they were out of town. It was awkward. He had had sex before, but in retrospect he wasn't very good at all, but I had no other frame of reference. It was a bad breakup, and I got a little crazy and slept with like 12 more guys over the next year. That escalated fast. The fact that she read me a poem about the Holocaust before the act kinda killed the mood. Obviously not completely, though. The first time I had sex is one of those things I regret most in life. That's why when people ask me when was the first time I had sex, I tell them the first time I had sex with someone I actually had feelings for. The first time I had sex was at a speedway. For those of you who don't know what speedway is, it's basically NASCAR, but with dirt bikes, and only 4 motorcycles in a race. Grand Prix, when I was 13, in a porta potty, with a girl whose name I didn't even know. I remember the porta potty actually didn't smell like sheet, but rather like really old soap. Never mind that, the sex wasn't even good. It was consensual from both sides, but it just didn't feel right. It was like it was forced from both sides. We thought we wanted it, but we really didn't. To this day, 5 years later, I still don't know who the girl was.